This is the Primetime News Bulletin here on Joy News on Multi TV. This bulletin is also available in Europe, Russia and North Africa via ABN Television in London. In this edition, concerned Ghanaians for responsible governance pull off non-partisan demonstration to protest their frustrations with the way the country is being governed. President Mahama, meanwhile, says he shares in the disappointment and frustrations expressed by many about the country's economic difficulties. Senior citizens in the Upper West region sharply criticized Savannah Accelerated Development Authority, saying they prefer programs that will increase food yields. Fuel shortage eases considerably in Accra. And Agbawe family of La relinquishes dental lands to government after deadly confrontation in January. We also have sports, business, showbiz and international news coming up. Stay tuned.
News at 8 with Israel Lai.
Hundreds of Ghanaians describing themselves as concerned Ghanaians for responsible governance Tuesday defied a downpour and heavy police presence to protest their frustrations with the way the country is being governed. Though not one of the largest demonstrations ever staged in Accra, the Occupy Flagstaff House movement brought together some of Ghana's most influential middle class. The organizers, after presenting their petition to the Deputy Chief of Staff, promised to stage more of such demonstrations if their concerns are not addressed soon.
The Occupy Flagstaff House demonstration started from the A4 Sutherland Children's Park in Accra, attracting some of the most influential lawyers, bankers and business captains such as Data Bank co-founder Ken Oforiatta, who came with his family, having returned from a trip abroad only last night.
Our currency has been down some 30% this year. The deficits are terrible. And the cost of living is a big problem. I was watching the civil rights movement in America, and it always starts in a small way, where awareness is built, citizens begin to appreciate that they should get involved, and soon you have a groundswell that then leads to government sitting up. I think amongst all of these things is the economy that we are talking about, but then it will lead to things about our electoral system.
Legal practitioner Ace Ankoma will not mince words about the way the country was being governed and was of the opinion that the president had failed Ghanaians.
It might just be a spark, but sometimes that's all that is required. I would be here if I was the only person here, because I've had enough. And when did I have enough? When I saw the pictures of your millions, my millions, being transported across the oceans and being filmed, and Ghana being made a mockery of and laughed at. We are being cartooned in Dutch newspapers. Really, Kwame Nkrumah's Ghana? I've had enough. And the ministers who preside over that shambolic event are reassigned. One is sent closer to the president, one is shipped to Ashanti region as if it's from Siberia. For real? That we only fire ministers if they gossip? Seriously?
The protesters, who had been contained within the park, made attempts to break through a police blockade, resulting in a confrontation. A group eventually made it out of the park, only to encounter another police blockade, this time with water cannons. But the protesters somehow managed to get as far as the fringes of the Flagstaff House, the seat of government, where some of them were picked up. One group later massed up at the premises of local television station right behind the fence wall of the Flagstaff House and were met by a government delegation. The organizers would, however, not hand over their petition to Minister of Communications, Dr. Edward Omane-Boama, demanding to see the president personally.
Did it look like we were having fun to you? No. Just because we choose to do this, you know what? We can also get appointed.
After several exchanges between the two parties, 6 of the organizers were ushered to the Flagstaff House. Upon their return, convener of the group, Nana Akwesi, briefed the media.
We presented a petition
to the Deputy Chief of Staff, Madam Valerie Sawyer, who promised us that she would forward the petition to the President. Indeed, in our presentation, we intimated to her that we believe and we hope that the President will act swiftly. Fortunately for us, the law does not place any limitation or restriction on the number of times you can demonstrate.
Absolutely.
And so if it takes 100 demonstrations to drive home and to demand results, we will do it.
And a related development, most of the journalists covering the Occupy Flagstaff House demonstration were not allowed access to the Flagstaff House for the presentation of the petition by the organizers. The Flagstaff House security justified their decision, citing security reasons.
The journalists were clearly unhappy about the decision to deny them entry into the Flagstaff House. This was after an initial group had been screened, albeit to be ushered into the premises. After making it through the first security post, however, their number was reduced to 6. Which meant that several reporters and especially camera technicians and photographers could not capture the presentation of the petition to government. This, for the journalists who had endured the rain and drudgery, was unfair. Not even the police officers escorting the team of organizers and journalists were spared the embarrassment.
Government, meanwhile, says it is ready to roll out continuous dialogue with the citizenry, but that Ghanaians will have to understand government is making an effort to fix the economy. Presidential staffer Dr. Pesa White, speaking on today's big story, said the outpouring of frustrations at today's demonstration suggests government has failed to effectively communicate.
We have 25 million Ghanaians, and what we need to do is to engage them a lot more in the constituencies, and I don't mean electoral constituencies, in the interest constituencies within which they fit themselves and within which they have their livelihood. That, I believe, we need to do a lot more. You earlier on asked a question whether my comment was a suggestion that we are not doing enough with our communication. I would say we are doing enough, but we probably can do more, and that is what I picked from the demonstrators. I just had an interaction with a gentleman who was at a demonstration a few minutes ago before your call came, and he told me that, look, I think that you people need to communicate with us some more. And I couldn't agree with him more than that. And so we have taken that particular challenge in good faith. We will take time to engage Ghanaians on issue by issue, what the problems were, what the solutions we are putting in place are, what the benefits of those solutions will be to Ghanaians going forward, and why we think and we believe that the solutions that the president is championing currently would deal with the problem once and for all. And I think that we also need to let Ghanaians appreciate the fact that the president has decided not to take the easy way of basically going to perhaps the usual World Bank, IMF, and basically bringing more loans that will eventually create more deficit problems for us, but to deal with the problem. So the question about taxes and increment in this, increment in that, are not in any way to be punitive to Ghanaians. They are not in any way intended to punish Ghanaians. We have what we call public goods in this country. The roads, the hospitals, and the schools, and so on and so forth, are maintained, built, and run out of public money. It is less expensive to all of us if we make little contributions towards those public goods than if we were all asked to construct our own roads or our own schools or our own hospitals and so on and so forth. And so I think that it is important that we place these things in context and realize that taxes may not necessarily be bad. What is important is for Ghanaians to support a government we have all elected, and at the end of the day, measure its success by the fact that they have supported the government to deliver.
Another development, President John Mahama says he shares in the disappointment and frustrations expressed by many about the economic difficulties in the country. His comments at a luncheon for senior citizens to mark Republic Day come on the heels of mounting pressure on government to fix the economy. The president told the senior citizens he has not forgotten his promise to the people of Ghana and remains a listening president. Gifty Andwapia reports.
The day I took my oath of office, I officially became the person who had been entrusted with the leadership of this country. And on that day, I made a promise to work in partnership with you, the citizens of this country. I have not forgotten that promise, nor have I forgotten that one of the greatest virtues of leadership is the ability to listen.
This year's 1st of July marks the 54th anniversary of Ghana's status as a republic. At the state's luncheon held annually to honor senior citizens for their contributions towards nation building, former Director General of the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, David Anaglate, observed there were too many complaints.
I also want, on your behalf, to talk about, again, the complaining that is in the nation. I know of a character in Roman literature called Cinna, who wanted people to think of him as poor, and indeed he became poor. This is an example of what is called self-fulfilling prophecy. Let us not be like Cinna.
The former broadcaster urged the media to highlight positive news to cheer up people in these times. He attributed the current hardships to the single spine pay policy and the decline in the world prices for the nation's primary exports, cocoa and gold.
Sometimes we admit things may be wrong, but the positive ones will cheer us up. The media knows, and I know, that it is the single spine salary which, added to the low prices we were getting recently on the world market for our cocoa, our gold. It is these factors which have created problems for the economy.
President Mahama, on his part, admitted the nation has been hit by what he calls several obstacles and challenges, some of which are still being resolved.
We have been met with several obstacles and challenges, some of which we have resolved, and others of which we are still working to find the ways and means to overcome. It is not enough for me to say that I share many of the same disappointments and frustrations that have been expressed, though I do. And it is not enough for me to say that I have every faith in government's ability to meet the goals we have set for the country once these difficult periods are behind us, and I do. What I will, however, say is that as citizens of Ghana, I want the same safety and stability for my children's future that all of us want for our children.
The president, who said the time for talking has passed, also added he continues to listen.
My comments today will be brief. The time for talking is past. Our people are confident and have never been afraid to make their concerns known. And I want to assure the good citizens of our great nation, the farmers, the fishermen, the traders, the workers, the students, security personnel, and all concerned citizens that I'm listening and will continue to listen. As I said, it is the asking and demanding which spurs into action the motions of destiny.
He urged Ghanaians to work together with him for a prosperous nation. On a day when the presidency celebrates all these senior citizens for their contribution to nation building, their leader or their spokesperson believes that the nation is complaining too much. And these comments come on the back of mounting pressure on government to fix the many problems of this country. Gifty Andwapia, Joy News, Banquet Hall, Accra.
Elsewhere, senior citizens in the Upper West region have sharply criticized the Savannah Accelerated Development Authority's tree planting and guinea fowl projects, asserting that they should rather be giving food to eat. They also criticized government's decision to remove fertilizer subsidies, lamenting it will affect food production in the region. Speaking at the Republic Day commemoration, they urged SADA to help provide subsidies rather than engaging in what they called projects that will not satisfy their hunger immediately. Rafiq Salam's report from Wa.
Senior citizens selected from the 11 districts of the Upper West region converged at the forecourts of the Wa Presidential Lodge to celebrate the day, share their experience and provide answers to the country's development challenges. They spoke on a wide range of issues including education, agriculture and the Savannah Accelerator Development Authority.
The children suffer a lot. Right now, I think there are textbooks in the basic school, but most schools don't have the textbooks. I think it is good for the Ministry of Education and for that matter, the Ghana Training Service, to let the basic school children have textbooks for a longer period of time and learn, and that will imprint into their brains what they have learned. This is what I have.
A lot of us here even may not be able, some may. But as for the deprived, the poorest of the poor, get into these rural areas. Right now, some of them can hardly get a meal a day. And these are the people who feed this nation. So, in fact, just as he said, I would rather suggest that SADA, which has been here for so many years, should come in to subsidize this fertilizer for the farmers. Honestly, I think that SADA has not been grateful to this region.
Outgoing Upper West Regional Minister Bert Zidane commended the senior citizens for the role they played in building the country and challenged claims the country has made little progress since it became a republic.
It is an indictment on all those people who have been working for the development of this country since independence. But they have done nothing. They have done nothing. They have achieved nothing. So, if we go by that logic, why do you celebrate you? It doesn't make sense to turn around and say that we are celebrating you for what you have contributed towards the national development. So I think that we have achieved a lot.
The Upper West Director of Action Aid Ghana, George Derry, whose outfit partnered the Upper West Regional Coordinating Council to organize the event, called on government to take the issues of pensioners seriously.
All people on pension have served this same government. So for some to be government pensioners and others Senate pensioners, I don't quite understand, because nobody served Senate. We all serve Ghana government. So I want us to share that name. We are all government pensioners.
The senior citizens were later treated to good music produced in the region, moving a good number of them to swing themselves to the admiration of all gathered. Rafiq Salam's report from Wa for Joy News.
You're watching the Primetime News Bulletin. You're on Joy News on Multi-TV. Still to come in the bulletin, in showbiz, Nyakofi Smart Abe has his trailer for the Black Stars movie ready. You'll be previewing it first time here on the bulletin. Stay tuned. An acute shortage of fuel that hit Accra and many parts of the country appeared to have eased considerably. Joy News checks indicate the long queues were almost extinct, even though most stations were out of the product. The shortage attributed to a failure of government to settle its indebtedness to the bulk petroleum suppliers virtually crippled all business and social activities.
As a measure to address the acute shortage, government directed the Finance Ministry to pay 450 million cedis to the BDCs and also instructed the release of fuel by bust. Since the settlement, however, hordes of tankers with fuel have been seen driving through Accra to supply petrol, especially to filling stations which for days had put up signs indicating they had none.
We placed orders from through the head office, and they have supplied us with 27,000 liters of petrol.
I believe now there is enough fuel in the system, so there's no queue. As you can see, there's no queue.
Yeah, like I said, well, we compare today to the previous days. I think I can't tell whether it's because of the holiday, But Sunday was Sunday. Saturday wasn't a working day. The place was busy. Today is a holiday. But the queue is not as long as it was for the past 2 days.
The situation was no different at the Farah Avenue Total. Those without the products, meanwhile, said they were expecting to take delivery soon.
The last time we had fuel was Wednesday. Immediately we discharged it. It got finished that very day, less than 3 hours. I think yesterday one of our stations in Oyarefa had it. But one of our stations in Oyarefa had it. But we were expecting ours yesterday, but we couldn't. But I think today we'll have it today.
Motorists who secured the products after struggling for days testified the situation had improved considerably.
In the last 1 week, I've been searching for petrol and I've not get. It's just right now that I tried this Total filling station and God's grace, I've got some.
I need the car at Kaukudi, so I follow it to reach here. And I see that he was discharging the fuel here. So, well, I asked them, the boys, and they told me that they are not going to sell it today till tomorrow. So I slept there. So the following day, I got my fuel.
Just came and realized that they are selling fuel, and I said, let me pass by and see what I can do.
The Agbawe family of La has discontinued a court case against the government over the intended use of their land. The land was originally bought by government in the 1960s to serve as a remote sensing facility for the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority. But the original purpose for the land has been changed, prompting the family to take the matter to court.
The over 600 acres of land includes some 150 acres belonging to the Civil Aviation Authority. It had, however, been heavily encroached upon as at the time the developers moved in January this year to assume control. The ensuing demolition of structures on the land resulted in a confrontation in which one Ajay Akpo, suspected to be a land guard, was shot to death. Wulomai from the La and Adenta traditional areas on Tuesday converged at the exact spot where the young man was shot to perform rites to cleanse the land. According to the Ochiame for the traditional leaders, the customary rites are a sign of their preparedness to work with government to bring development to the area.
We are performing this tradition to remove Ajay Akpo from this land to our house. So you can see, as I'm talking to you now, you can see they are performing the rite. They put a casket in spiritually. Spiritually, they remove him from the ground and put him in the casket. We send him back to the village and bury him there. Or in the cemetery, we have a cemetery there, we'll bury him there. This is not a cemetery. We are doing this for the, to pave way for the government to develop the land as it was agreed. We are doing our own today, as I'm talking to you, 1st July. We expect the government to immediately invite us so that every necessary progress that we have decided on to go on with all respect.
Although it is not clear what sort of development the area will see, Joy News gathers there will be markets, shopping malls and other light industries.
The Mahini of the Commander traditional area, Nana Kukri, has blamed the collapse of the Commander Sugar Factory on the lack of local content in management. He is advocating that government endeavor to ensure that local leaders are represented in the management of the company as they strive to revive the factory.
The Commander Sugar Factory in the Commander Edna Eguafu Abrim municipality of the Central Region collapsed decades ago. The Omanhene, who was speaking to Joy News shortly after the launch of Commander Manyeyi Festival, celebrated by the chiefs and people of the Commander traditional area, was hopeful government would fulfill the promise of revamping it.
I bring us no other fat to Badono. In the city, a man for Maniman Nananum, and one opinion is a Queen Biala, Yabo Bois, Ghana Ban, and now investors know about another company. No, I've been church over here. The ye, Madado Nuguino. I don't know, sister, you go here for whom Made Waba, Wofandama, Yabaho, and said the Mukwane, you do yesterday, need to president to her. No, you catch in there. Ye peda here, so ye. Over there, management, no. Over there, the car content, no, you do. Ama ye did, oh, see, na that don't agree, no, for free about.
Meanwhile, the chairman of the Commander Afashe Planning Committee, James Imbre, speaking at the launch of the festival, said cultural practices should not be treated with contempt. He urged the people of Commander to ensure proper sanitation as they prepare towards the festival. Organized under the theme, Ensuring Sustainable Development Through Education, the Education Director of KIA, Gabriel Gadema, underscored the importance of education to the development of the country.
We need to educate our children for development. Houses are put up haphazardly in the communities, and who are those going to restructure these communities? They are our children who are in school now. Therefore, it is our duty, in order to sustain the development of our communities, our towns, we need to educate our children, our communities, our elders, our development partners. Changes are coming, and it comes with education. We must all put our hands on deck.
The festival is slated for September 2 this year. A report by Georgina Apia.
One of Accra's foremost private health facilities, Rabito Clinic, on Republic Day, organized a blood donation exercise to upstock the National Blood Bank. The event forms part of activities marking its 40th anniversary.
Hospital officials and members of the general public walked into the clinic to donate blood in support of the hospital's quest to save the empty blood bank. The exercise is in partnership with the blood unit of the Ridge Hospital.
It is sad that people in Ghana continue to die because of lack of blood. And what's the point in losing lives when there are so many blood that can go around to save our brothers and sisters? So we thought this was really important to team up with the blood bank and make this a reality to support them and help save lives as part of our 40th anniversary. All those that donate blood will be given a card. And once you have that card as a blood donor, in the future, in the event that you need blood yourself, you'll be prioritized.
The clinic, amongst other events to mark its 40th anniversary, is also organizing free screening for the general public on skin diseases and general medical care on Tuesday, 10th July 2014 from 9 a.m. to 12 noon at Rabito Clinic, Usu.
As a clinic, we have our patrons in terms of those who patronize our services. Most of these people are corporate institutions. I wouldn't like to mention names here, but there are others that we've selected and we've actually decided to give them a special package. Sometimes it would even be in a form of general health screening exercise. We go to their workplaces or we invite them to come to the clinic. We do a free screening exercise for them, just for us to show appreciation for the service that they've been doing with us.
Ghana needs 250,000 units of blood annually to satisfy blood transfusion needs, but the annual coverage currently is 130,000, leaving a shortfall of 120,000. Hospital officials are hopeful of collecting 50 units of blood by close of Tuesday.
Good evening and welcome to Business with me, Matilda Nyakwa Kweku. Paying a third party through the banking system will be a lot faster with the planned introduction of an instant payment system this year. The electronic payment system will enable money transferred from one account to another to be credited to the receiver instantly, making interbank payment happen in real time. Chief Executive of Gibbs, Archie Hesse, who confirmed progress on the introduction of the interbank instant payment system, said it would encourage businesses to use the banking system since they are assured of instant payment transactions from one bank account to another. Currently, transfers from one bank account to the other will take not less than 3 hours, even under express transactions through a system known as direct credit under the automated clearing house. and 24 hours if it is not under express transaction, which is also another initiative by Gibbs. But with the new product, a customer can request a transfer and it will hit the account of the recipient instantly. Such a payment system will come in handy for businesses who want a quick and safe way of making receiving payments. A pilot will begin with a few banks before all other banks will come on board. There has been a sharp increase in the prices of foodstuffs, even for those items that are in season. Vegetables like cabbage, for instance, though in season, is selling at 400 Ghana cedis a bag, up from 120 cedis a month. Traders have blamed the situation on a number of factors, especially with the recent fuel shortage.
Joy News checks on the prices of foodstuffs in some markets in Accra revealed a hike in their prices, albeit in season. Vegetables are in season due to the rains, but their prices had increased. A bag of green pepper is now selling between 60 cedis to 70 cedis, while a single carrot now goes for 1 cedi.
It's a patrol, you have to patrol, saying Cinema Bedru Hana. I never quite have a company cabbage 1 bag per 4 million, 3.8. And so be banament man told wait to say beer 40,000 on top. And son sika. It's a man and boy then saying to me to your torso in Yanfaso.
The prices of tomatoes, garden eggs, and onions have, however, remained stable, with 4 of each selling at 1 cedi. Prices of tuber crops have also shot up, with a tuber of yam now selling between 5 and 10 cedis. A sack of cocoyam, which sold at 120 cedis, is now 150 cedis, while that of plantain is up to 100 from 80 cedis.
Obi ba koswa ene kai beba no obi enra say some ba Monday so na am ka mu nyanti na no pen aso mo de nyama no beduye omo ba yen so no enam say me fan say manken no omo de my 1.2 a na ka mba na odwum ni so age 100 so no buy 1.5 mba ni so age 100,000 ntina kwa 1.6 na say 300,000 kwa na ba be kan ho
ayen sa na wo ton le say
first no we no metin enum 4 cedi so first na ka metin 7 4 cedi so na mo ne bo na ye de be ma me 600 na de ma me 800 no nti se me sesa na metin yen.
Commodities such as rice and oil have also seen price increases, with a small bag of rice now selling at 19 cedis from 16 cedis. A gallon of oil also sells at 24 cedis, up from 22 cedis, while a crate of eggs has also shot up from 9 cedis to 13 cedis.
Tomatoes, you see, first na 1 cedi, but I see about 13. And I do know the so and the amount to move say 3 cedis. And I quarter size near 2 cedis. I was saying I wanted to kakra because you see, some to my offer. No, because of my 2 months,
although prices of commodities like fruits and some vegetables remain stable, the May inflation rate of 14.8% generally reflected on the market. Abigail Adamakonchi for Joy News.
Promacedo Ghana, producers of Onga seasoning, and the Center for National Culture have organized a Kukri Contest for some selected market women in Accra. The competition aims to promote healthy living and discourage the growing popularity of continental dishes at the expense of the traditional ones.
The Kukri Contest, dubbed Patashi or Kitchen, is the result of collaboration between Promacedo Ghana, producers of Onga seasoning, and the Center for National Culture. It attracted scores of women from 10 market centers in the Greater Accra region and is aimed at promoting the beauty of Ghanaian culture through the use of culinary skills. The contestants were drawn from the 10 regions of Ghana, with each preparing a delicacy from their home region. The director of the Center for National Culture, George Opong, said the program is part of its mandate to promote local culture.
Food being part of our culture, we have to also preserve and promote
our traditional food, which is now following some instinct. Because it seems that the people have the taste for the foreign food instead of the local food. So we are promoting it so that at least people's awareness will be created, so that they see that by eating our local food is more, it's healthier and even more nutritious than our foreign food.
President of the Greater Accra Market Association, Mersina Aflowa-Nijan, lauded the initiative and stated the program can win global admiration for Ghana. A representative of Promaxidol Ghana, Emlyn Tego, said the initiative also seeks to educate the public about precautionary measures to be observed when cooking, and further reiterated the role of market women in intensifying awareness.
Charity begins at home, and it's the woman who is in charge of the home. And the program has been that passion, and you know it's the second office of every woman. It's a career woman, whoever you are, a woman cooks. And so the market women, they are the opinion leaders. When they see them, you give them the message, they relate to the other women. It holds. They believe they know better. So when you work through the market women, the queen mothers, you get the message across very well.
The market women prepared a wide range of local dishes within an allotted time and treated the gathering to some modeling and cultural display.
And that's all for business.
Showbiz.
Multimedia's solely entertainment radio station is organizing a Republic Day bash for its listeners at the Kukri Contest beach here in Accra. Joining us is Rebecca Daku, who was at the beach earlier this afternoon, says the early showers seems not to be in any position to deter the revelers who intend to have a good time.
Public holiday has been marked on a rather low key by some Ghanaians and foreigners at large. With the morning showers having subsided, some holiday makers began making their way to the Kukri Contest beach for the Hit FM party. One of the organizers speaks about the rationale for the beach party.
Basically, I felt the Republic Day is being left out, you understand? It's always all about independence, Christmas. Whilst I think we can also make sure we celebrate our Republic Day. So that was what propelled us to put together this event.
The show is just about shifting into a new gear. So if you have no plans for tonight, you can pass through the Kukri Contest beach and party for a while.
Now, there are a few things that are constant in Hollywood films, particularly thrillers. You'll see some gun, power, corruption, sex scandal, and maybe a hostage situation. So if Hollywood is going to go ahead with the production of a soccer-themed film about the Black Stars encounter at the World Cup, it is just ideal that all or most of these key ingredients are present. As we promised last night, here's a trailer for the Janeiro Express, our own version of the Black Stars film produced by me, Kukri Smart Abbey. Okay, so excellent piece. My only disappointment is the inclusion of the Ghana cedis. Me, Kukri Smart Abbey, who put it together, I have to tell him it was all about dollars. It was $3 million involved, but that's it for showbiz. And a good job there, done there by Nia Kukri Smart Abbey.
Showbiz was brought to you.
When I bring you sports, a Nigerian coach, Stephen Keshi, has stepped down from his position after the Super Eagles' exit from the World Cup in Brazil. The 52-year-old was appointed Nigerian boss in 2011 and helped them become African champions 2 years later.
My children, I've not seen them for a long time. So, you know, I would love to be here to the end of the tournament, but since we're out today, it would be nice to see the family. We've been gone for 3 months, so going back will be a good thing. I cannot ask for better support than what I got today. Or, in fact, every stadium that we've played so far, the Brazilians have been wonderful with us. They've been behind us, giving us all the support. You know, it's just like we're two teams from Brazil is playing this World Cup. I really do appreciate the Brazilians. I thank them for their support. I thank them for everything. The assessment of this World Cup, the security, everything is great, perfect for me. I mean, these security guys are awesome. They know what they're doing. The coordination is unbelievable. So the stadiums, the pitches, great. I think so far it's been wonderful.
Well, the team's captain, Joseph Yobo, also retired from international football following their exit. Fenerbahce's Yobo, 33, scored a late own goal after Pogba's header had broken Nigerian resistance.
For me, I've enjoyed every moment of it, good and bad times. I want to give other people the chance to carry on. Hopefully, I think I've left something for them, a platform that they can follow. So hopefully, if they're on that platform, we'll see great things from the national team. But for me, it's time to I want to spend some time with my family and focus on club football, because I think I have a lot to give. It's been a long way back and front. National team club football is going to be very difficult. So at this time, I think I just want to focus on family and club football.
And Argentina has made it through to the quarterfinals of the ongoing FIFA World Cup following their 1-0 victory over Switzerland. Here are highlights of the game.
Cleverly done. Hamadi. And still he goes on. Dermich waits in the centre. Not the greatest of clearances you'll ever see. Shaqiri. Taking Zabaleta to the corner flag. Gargo in support. Corner given. Seferovic looking to get hold, but he's lost it. The reason he lost it was that he was fouled. Messi has just gone down holding his leg. And Lichtsteiner trying to be too casual, and suddenly Argentina sprung into action. Messi had options to his right. Di Maria took it early and swept it beyond Bernalio. And Argentina now surely are safely through to the quarterfinals. Messi was after this moment, a bit of space to run into. He picked the time to release the pass, and Di Maria does the rest. Swiss resistance broken, heartbreakingly close.
Well, on the update on the current match, it's still 0-0 between Belgium and the USA. And that'll be all for sports.